Johns Hopkins, Baltimore, Maryland. For 3 months in 1999, ABC News was given unprecedented access inside one of America's leading hospitals. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a team of journalists was allowed to witness intimate, candid moments, what really goes on inside a hospital. Now, some of those stories on Hopkins 24/7.
Come on out of him, I'm still here with you. Let him know you're still here with him, yo. Come on, dog. Come on, yo. Come on out of him, I'm still here with you, dog. Come on, baby, breathe, yo. Breathe.
He jumped the fence, shot like that?
Police don't know why someone shot 23-year-old Andre Jones in the chest.
Were you with him when he got shot?
Nah, I was around the house.
But they do know he will die if he doesn't get to a hospital quickly.
He's going to Hopkins, right?
In this ravaged Baltimore neighborhood, Johns Hopkins Hospital is closest. It is a paradox that one of America's most deadly inner-city neighborhoods is also the home of one of the nation's most prestigious medical centers. By the time he gets to Hopkins, Andre Jones' heart has been stopped for 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes.
You're going to start CPR. Go ahead. Can you give me the CO2?
As a last resort, the trauma team does a thoracotomy, cutting open Jones' chest so they can massage his heart by hand.
I have some light here. Turn on the light. Give me anything. Oh, something.
Mitch, how many liters on the level 1?
In the last 12 months, the Hopkins ER has treated 386 shooting victims. Today, Andre Jones joins the list of those who didn't make it.
In the emergency department and emergency medicine, you don't get to know the people. And that just kind of keeps you isolated from all the feelings. And it amazes me at how indifferent I am to it and how indifferent I can be to other people dying, to people I don't know. Death is part of life, and part of being an emergency physician is being a part of the death process.
At 27, Kathy Pooler has been an emergency room doctor for 2 years.
These people come in so quickly, and a lot of times they weren't talking. You know, you never knew them when they were like a walking, talking person. When they come in the emergency room, your role is to try to save them.
Can you offer me another triple lemon? There's somebody here, Lane. Okay.
Dr. Lane? Yeah. Her pupils are now dilated.
She's had atrophy.
All right.
Okay, well, she's attacked. Do we have a pulse? Well, this is thin.
Okay, can you get ready to shock, please?
In my pediatrics rotation, 2 of my kids, when I was a medical student, 2 of my little girls who I was taking care of died. I mean, I went to 2 funerals. I was crying. I was all taken up. I mean, I was, it affected me so much.
It's 1 milligram.
Maybe I realized that I cared too much and that if I went into a field where I would always be affected by my patients, if they were sick or dying, I wouldn't get anything accomplished.
All right, we're going to shock her again with 360. All right, targeting 360. Is everyone clear?
Everyone clear? Go ahead, Joe.
So if I went into a field where you didn't have that opportunity to get really intimately involved with a patient's life and a patient's care, and therefore when they do die or when something bad does happen to them, it can affect you that much because you don't know them.
Anybody have any objections to stopping? Anyone have any objections?
Nope. Time of death 5:13.
Thank everybody.
I don't ever want to seem cold or disconnected, but I think if you let yourself lose it and become totally emotional and an emotional wreck, you wouldn't be a good physician.
Confronting death is part of every doctor's experience. And for many of them, it begins in their first year of medical school.
Anatomy, for many students, is their first encounter with death. They will see a dead person on which they will perform the dissection to learn the principles of anatomy.
Nothing we have available right now is as detailed as the human body. Nothing.
First day of anatomy was a huge transition in my life, and I think probably
all first-year medical students' lives. I think I looked forward to anatomy with fear, with excitement, with anticipation, but I was very nervous.
I have some reactions here from previous students. One person says, when I finally walked into lab, it took me 10 minutes before I could look at the body. And when I did, I saw an old lady that could have easily been my grandmother. I wanted to cry.
I think I'll be okay with it. I mean, just keeping things in perspective of just what an incredible opportunity it is to, to work with the human body and to learn from that. And so I think it kind of tempers the anxiety or any feelings of nausea or anything.
At the beginning of anatomy, they issued us these boxes of bones, and it was actually real bones, real skeleton, which was kind of overwhelming at first.
The big toe only has 2 phalanges, so that's fine. What else do you have to look for?
Patella.
So it goes like this, I think. There's supposed to be, the sternum comes in...
No, this is your breastbone. Okay.
No, she said the sternum comes in 2 pieces because they're not fused.
None of us knew what bone was what. Nobody knew what was the radius, what was the humerus, what was the ulna. No idea. And thinking about we're all going to be doctors and have no idea what these bones are was interesting.
20, 22, 24. You're missing the lowest lumbar, so right that you're missing 1 lumbar vertebra.
They keep talking about how emotionally, draining it is, and it's really hard for some people. And right now, I don't feel like it's going to be like that for me, but it might be once I get in there and there's, dead bodies around and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming these are ribs here.
I don't know what any of these things are.
Have you ever had a first date with someone? And the closer you get to that first date, the more and more nervous you get about going on the date. Like your stomach starts getting a little more nervous. That's how I feel about the first day of anatomy. So it's just kind of like as the week has progressed, I've gotten more and more and more nervous about it, just knowing that it's coming up.
13 years ago, Dr. Malcolm Brock was in anatomy class. Today, he and a Hopkins transplant team must retrieve new lungs for a teenage boy who will surely die without them.
Getting back here within 4 hours is key, so we want ischemic time less than 4 hours. Remember, the OR time for implantation here is going to be long. It's not just a single lung.
The donor is in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, 200 miles from Baltimore. Dr. Brock knows the donor's lungs can only be detached from the human body for 6 hours. Any longer, and they will begin to deteriorate.
It's a juggling act. We're trying to make sure that our timing is impeccable so that there's no extra time that's wasted. We only have 4 hours to get the lungs implanted back into Zach.
17-year-old Zach Chamberlain has been waiting for new lungs for 3 years.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
Excited?
Mm-hmm.
I was 6 weeks premature, and my lungs were deformed. Within the last 6 months, we've been called about 8 times, and twice I've been put to sleep, assuming I'm getting a transplant and waking up and something must have been wrong with the organs. I was upset, but then you have to understand when it happens, it's meant to be, and I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Things happen for a reason. Don't always understand them, just how life is.
You've been lifting weights?
Yeah. They've been lifting me.
Sit up straight.
I think what we have tried to do all this whole time for the 17 years, you always think the worst. Get yourself ready for it. And if they come back with a better answer, you can accept it easier. So it's an emotional roller coaster for everybody.
But he's had, I think, a lot of disappointment, so he's got that outlook too. Look for the worst, and if it's better, it's good, right?
Surprising, yeah.
Yep, that's me. Even though Zach has been disappointed twice before, I think our job is to make sure that we have the best possible lungs for him.
The donor is a 42-year-old woman who has suffered a catastrophic brain injury.
We found out that the donor has had a pneumonia. He had a white count as high as 20,000 about 4 or 5 days ago.
A high white blood cell count could mean an infection has already settled in the donor's lungs, making them unsuitable for Zach.
Did our guys know about this? hopefully, you know, when we inspect the lungs and look, we're not going to find any problem. Zach's been in and out of Hopkins for so long, and it would be a shame if these lungs turn out to be bad.
This one's gonna work.
Yep.
Nervous?
Kinda.
Okay.
When did they call you? This morning, yeah.
I think it was about 8.
Yeah, I was still sleeping.
You were still sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't find out until I woke up.
I've known Zach for about 6 years. He had significant lung disease related to being premature. Well, eventually he would have died. Zach's lung function is deteriorating slowly, and eventually it would be so poor that it would kill him.
Ooh, is this the dance picture?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see this. Well, Zach is a wonderful kid. He is someone that has done as much as he possibly could in spite of being quite sick.
Hey, come here.
We pictures.
Oh, you do? All right, I'll take a picture of the dance.
You can,
He has played sports. He would play baseball wearing his oxygen in a backpack. He plays the drums. He always has had a date for the prom and the dances. And
She's beautiful. Okay, and now they're paging me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you have questions or concerns?
Nope.
Okay. Good.
I'm ready.
We were late getting there, so we had to work fast.
Dr. Malcolm Brock knows other transplant teams are also coming to recover other organs from the same donor.
And we're the first team to be here?
No, another team beat
Good.
you.
They haven't started yet?
They just started about 10 minutes ago. Good.
In fact, another team has already begun removing the donor's heart.
I just need to call Hopkins real quick this time we're here.
We're always anxious about the arrival of the lungs.
Well, we got here about 15 minutes ago, and the other guys beat us here, so they're actually in the OR, and they just opened chest, apparently. I haven't been in the OR yet. I wanted to call you as soon as we got here. It's about a 2-hour transit time.
2-hour transit. We all have to be in constant contact with each other to get the timing down to within a few minutes. If we're off by half an hour to an hour, that could be potentially fatal, and so it could actually be life or death for Zach.
You know, she had a pneumonia, so I'm going to go scrub, and then I'll call you and tell you what the lung looks like.
Our donor team, they are my eyes, ears, and hands, and so my donor team is going to open up the chest and the donor to feel the lungs, and once they've reported to me that everything looks good, then we will put Zach to sleep, then open up the chest.
All set this time?
Yep.
How are you?
Fine.
It's the 4th time, right?
Third.
It's the 3rd? So the timing would be, we'll try to get you upstairs about, in the afternoon, about 3:30. Okay, and then, because we have to chip out the lungs, it'll take quite a while. For Zach's case, we have to time everything properly because the organs are coming from at least 2 hours away. And getting back into Zach's chest is going to be very difficult because he's had prior surgery. The lungs are scarified down to the chest wall, so it's going to take us at least an hour, hour and a half just to free up the lungs. You have a cross on your chest. Not too many people can say that. It's to protect you from all those werewolves.
So many of medicine's breakthroughs depend on good Samaritans willing to donate organs, or even their bodies, to science.
Sometimes it gives me the creeps, and sometimes
when you first walk in, it's kind of airy.
I really was dreaming about cutting the body. It freaked me out.
Did you wake up?
Yeah, I woke up like.
So I guess this is it.
These are the hands, I think.
This is the hips.
Think so?
We don't know.
No, I think those are
I think they're their hands.
I think they're like going like this.
It's got to be a woman. The chest is.
I don't know.
Anatomy is often the defining core course in medical school, certainly in the first year.
I want a large chest cavity so I can get in there.
I think I found the leaner.
Size of Ricardo.
Better.
They're all the same. There's human variation, you know. Some will be thin, some will be short, some will be heavy.
This is our guy.
You're going to be a doctor, presumably. You better learn to deal with anything.
The first thing you have to do is get the cadaver out of this body bag. This is the one that you're going to fold up.
Okay. Everybody is anxious and to some degree scared. Some show it more than others. Their heartbeat starts to go up. They feel faint and actually do faint. Some students develop nausea.
I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next.
Everybody's okay.
What do you want to do?
We just all looked at each other, and it was just a mutual understanding.
Yeah, just take a moment of silence. Yeah, I just, kind of said a short prayer and just really expressed a lot of gratitude for this person being willing to donate her body so that we could learn from it.
But it was a touching moment. I had tears for a couple minutes, and it was difficult for me at first.
It was amazing because it was just so natural and so important for us to do. It just conveyed our respect to the person and the fact that we all felt it at the same moment and stepped back simultaneously, and we'd all had that thought on our own, but it just came together.
How do you become an emergency physician? What do you need to learn? I think what you need to learn is how to keep the flow, is how to manage 8 patients at once. It's kind of like being a waitress. It's kind of like taking care of 8 tables at once.
Hey, where are you hurting right now the most?
And they're all moving at the same time, and they're all wanting things at the same time.
Your head. Did you lose consciousness?
And they all need things at the same time. So it's a balance.
It hurts real bad up in here.
Okay, I'm gonna check your x-ray. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check on a patient in the other room. I'll be right back to see you, okay? You okay right now?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. Oh, okay, so you've already been seen, so you're not gonna be my patient then. You've already been seen. I'm just overrun right now.
You did it.
What happened? Why are you here?
I'm on the side, my right side.
You can't move your right side? How long's that been going on?
10 days.
Now, 8 or 10 days. How come you haven't come to the hospital?
Crazy.
You're crazy? So how you been getting around?
Scooting around.
Scooting around. Tripped over your cat.
Yes.
Jeez. You didn't see him?
I was coming down the step and he just crossed between my legs.
Is the cat okay?
Mm-hmm.
The cat doesn't have any cuts on it? I just can't.
There was times when I was just like, the madness, it has to stop. Because it's crazy. It's crazy, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. You're like, you're ready to explode. But, this month, for some reason, I'm kind of getting it. I kind of feel like I have the flow.
I think when I actually see the face, it's going to be, because right now it's still a little, it's kind of obscured by this.
I think we all had to face a lot of things. One of those is facing death, which is something as a doctor you're going to have to face day in and day out. And I think that's one of the most important things about having an anatomy class, is because you have to face that up front before you're actually facing with the patient. We had to face learning how to separate yourself from what you're doing. It's a pretty traumatic thing to think about what you're really doing, and you have to learn how to just take a step back from that.
All right, first cut.
Yeah, you just go down to that.
Yeah, go to the end of the sternum.
The hair is hard to look at. It looks so human, I guess. SS Philadelphia.
1941 to 1946.
A veteran.
We could find out where he went. It's probably the most overwhelming experience I've had. Emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, physically. It's emotionally draining to be around a body, cutting a body apart, 4 to 5 hours a day.
Isn't there like a nerve center?
Intellectually draining to be learning all these different names of nerves, of muscles, of arteries.
That's the Coopers.
I'm like covered in formaldehyde.
One thing you have to get used to is the smell of formaldehyde, that it permeates your clothes, your hair, your skin. So the rest of your career in medicine, when you smell formaldehyde, the one you think about is the first day in anatomy.
Okay, the vein is at the top, right there.
Vein is, that's,
Oh, yeah,
I think that's a nerve.
Gotcha.
And I think it's draining too because you feel frustrated that you can't learn everything.
Wait, where's the nerve?
The nerve is that white thing.
Keep the
But
orientation.
it'll pay off. You know, it'll pay off when you're with the patient who needs your help
That's neat. Look at that.
and you're able to provide that help. And I guess that's what I'm looking forward to and what keeps me going.
Okay.
Several hundred miles away, it has already paid off for Dr. Malcolm Brock. Packed in this ice cooler are the donor's healthy lungs, which Brock has just removed.
So I've seen the lungs in the patient, and there's no way that these lungs have pneumonia. So I feel more comfortable now that these lungs feel good, and I think it's a go for Zach. So that's exciting.
Now, the race home begins.
Elevators are this way. This way, guys. Uh-oh. You gotta have somebody.
Once in the ambulance, Dr. Brock inspects the lungs for damage and finds none.
If you cut out an organ and you stop it from having blood flow till that blood recirculates in the recipient, it is degenerating. And the longer time that it does not have blood flow, the worse it will be for Zach.
What time is it?
10 after.
Can you do that?
What time is it? A minute later, 2 minutes.
Hey, the lungs themselves look great. Yeah. Cross-temp time was 4:33. No, hold on, sorry, 5:33.
Okay, thanks, bye. So the lungs came out at 5:33. So the clock is ticking. We already have 30 minutes. It'll be 2 hours for travel. So that means we only have 3.5 hours to get them hooked up. That's all. No pressure.
For anybody who wants to become a doctor, it's not glamorous. I've missed holidays, birthdays, family reunions. You can't get that back.
And everyone else is coming into work. It's like I get to go home. And they're all saying, oh, lucky her, she's going home. Yeah. Only if I didn't have to come back tonight.
I think everybody gets sick of their job. I think everyone wonders if they'd made the right choice. I think that, you know, you wouldn't be a human if you didn't. I think everybody, in every job they do, questions their choices.
It's neat. You get to watch the sunrise when we're a little bit late, but if you get here like around 7:15 or it comes right over the Inner Harbor. It's really pretty.
But I think there's more days that I come home happy with what I do than leave disappointed. But sure, there's times at my job when I'm just like, oh my God, I could be doing something so much easier. I could be, you know, working so much less. I could be not in debt. Like I'm in so much debt right now from medical school. And, you know, it's a lot of stress, you know, a lot of pressure to be in that much debt. You know, sometimes you cry, sometimes you get frustrated, and, you know, it's a long road. I think that it has taken a toll. I think that as far as, you know, I'm not married. You know, I've got a boyfriend, but I'm not married. I don't have children. I don't have a home yet.
We have some mayonnaise. We have some milk. It's kind of sad.
I think that a lot of the normal things in life I've had to put on hold. Going into medical school and becoming a doctor, you kind of lose your young adulthood. You know, I feel like I've lost my 20s. A lot of people my age haven't even decided on their career yet. And here I am, you know, I'm in charge of people's lives. With my medical school hat. And you know what this stands for? F you, buddy. I got my internship.
Okay, Zach, here we come. Here we come, Zach.
For Zach Chamberlain, every second counts. If the lungs are not implanted within 5 hours, they will begin to decay.
As we leave the hospital with the organs, we'll call them again and say we're leaving. We're on our way to the airport. It'll take 10 minutes there, an hour flight. And then once we hit the ground again in Baltimore, we'll call them again.
Is that ready?
Yeah.
They're just about ready for you. They just called, so it should be momentary that they come.
For now.
The operating room is right inside this door right here.
You just do what you have to do. You just put one foot in front of the other, take each day as it comes, each hour as it comes, however the case may be. You just do it. I mean, if somebody had told us 17 years ago we were going to go through this, I would have sat back, yeah, right. There ain't no way I can live through that. I love you, baby.
Good luck. Yeah, again, be strong. Real strong. Okay?
Everything's going to go just fine. You know that, right?
Yep.
Ready for the party, man? Table's waiting.
Table one, number one for number one.
You've done this before.
This is our third time.
I know.
They're going to keep going. They're going to put some lines in, put the breathing tube in, and I'm going to come in and get them prepped, and then we'll be ready to go.
I'll see you in the ICU when you get out. Third time's a charm. I think the Chamberlains have managed to find an inner strength. Whenever they have a problem, they're confronted with a new thing to deal with, they manage to find the strength to deal with that. And although it may not be what they want to do, they've always managed to go forward. I think Zach has benefited from that.
They're going to put you to sleep. We'll see you when you wake up, bud, okay? Okay.
Do great. You really don't have a choice. So you got to do what you feel is best for your child and be willing to take that opportunity. And I do really feel grateful for the family who donated, that somebody did give from their heart of a loved one to help some stranger's loved one to survive. As well as I feel sorrow for that family because that could be us.
We just landed.
All right, you're on your way.
There in about 15 minutes.
We're getting an early start on this one, 7 o'clock at night. It's a luxury.
It was asked, what would my dream be for my child, meaning Zachary? And my answer was to eventually to be old enough to become a father and realize what it means from the heart of some of the sacrifices that you make for your children. Then he would know what true love really is.
Lunch should be about here about 8:30. It'll take us about 3 hours to sew them in.
We're going back to the hospital, priority. Lights are on. Lights on, and we're flying.
They didn't tell me much, but Zach is now in the OR. They have started to open up his chest. They won't actually take out any of his lungs until we actually make it inside the door. And they see the whites of our eyes, then they'll cut out his lungs.
And it's almost like 60-year-old smoker who gets this type of emphysema. So you see these little thin sacs here.
Hi, Mrs. Chamberlain? Right, he has a lot of scar tissue. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. They just got started about 5 minutes ago. They're opening him up. It's going to take a while because of all the scar tissue. They'll call us as soon as the lungs arrive.
This is the life of a resident. I have a dirty coat. I got a hole in my scrubs. I have a falling apart shoe. Dr. Christensen, I think, I came to the emergency room tonight because I have falling apart.
Of the shoe?
Of the shoe.
Yeah, we have a serious problem here.
Let me get some.
We have a grade 3 laceration of a bootstrap.
Dr. Christensen, immediate attention.
These are some serious shoes. You're one of those people who require a lot of attention.
Are you wearing gloves? Are you double gloved, Dr. Christensen?
This is probably double gloved for this. For my benefit. Would you like an EKG on it, Doctor?
I think I might need an EKG. I think I might need a head CT too.
Okay, I'll help you. Actually, I think we need a psychiatric consult.
Yeah, that too.
This may be way beyond my expertise.
Okay.
So how tight do you want this?
No, because I don't know. Dr. Christensen, I trust your judgment.
Can I have a light? Come on. You know, I don't know. I think we can save it. Clamp.
Do you think it'll happen again, Dr. Christensen?
I can't promise you that it won't.
You must be gentle with this foot until you get an ortho consult, actually.
Okay.
Tom McCann is pulling for you.
If I fail as a doctor...
Dr. McCann.
Can I do the cutting? Dum-dum. The shoe is fixed. Thank you.
The biggest thing in the emergency room is teamwork. We work as a team as the best we can. 1 minute we're sitting around just talking about, nothing. And then the next minute, we're like saving a person's life.
Oh, yeah, she'll make it upstairs for sure.
Last year, over 200 Johns Hopkins employees were accidentally exposed to HIV, hepatitis C, and other infectious diseases. In the emergency department, 1 in 7 patients is HIV positive, making it the most dangerous place in the hospital to work.
Okay.
In Trauma Room 2, a woman has stopped breathing.
Give me some gloves.
Dr. Pooler is called to assist.
Who's doing line?
Right here. Let's all be careful.
Okay, in. Line's in.
The patient is HIV positive.
Okay, all sharps are away. Why do I have blood on my hand?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, oh my God. Jeez. No, I just, I put a central line in there, and it was an emergency situation. I was hurrying up. I had gloves on. I didn't double glove, but I had gloves on, and I took off my gloves, and I had blood underneath on my thumb. Okay. Oh, here they are.
Thank you, John.
See that?
Getting extract cable.
That leak? These gloves are leaky. Check it out. I have blood underneath on my thumb. These gloves leaking.
Did you Clorox?
Betadine.
Clorox?
No, where did you get Clorox?
I got Clorox from the charge nurse.
Tom, can you give me some Clorox bleach?
Dr. Pooler is afraid the contaminated blood could have infected her through a scrape on her thumb.
I didn't stick myself, but I don't know if how that got. See that abrasion? But it's not bleeding. I know if the glove had a hole in it before I put it on. But, I know I didn't. I didn't feel anything. I might have just, if I sheared it, or I don't know. I don't think I did. I only had
It was just out of control back there. Huh? Blood was splattering everywhere. Kiki's got blood all over her. It needs to calm down back there. And they're all complaining. There was no protection. You have an HIV positive patient, and there's blood all over people.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just, you see what I'm talking about, though? That little area of redness? What is that? It's not bleeding, so it couldn't have been my blood.
No. So do the right thing. Let's do it.
We have a protocol here in the hospitals whenever you have an exposure, whether it be a needle stick, a splash, anything, any risk of exposure to a disease like HIV or hepatitis or any bloodborne pathogens, you call this needle sticks program.
By the time the lungs for Zach arrive, they are already 2.5 hours old. And the task of removing Zach's diseased lungs has yet to begin.
They're not going to take anything out until those lungs show up.
Boy, these are ugly. Can't imagine a little kid like that, so sweet, has such ugly lungs.
How you guys doing here?
Not very good. It's like a bomb went off over here.
And they're working on still getting his own lungs out. And he seems to be doing okay, but they haven't quite gotten them out yet.
God, come on. Will you just come out? You're coming out. You are coming out. God. Get that out of my face.
This will be fun.
Yeah, they're sick.
I feel like a kid opening a present on Christmas morning. These things are nice size. Oh man, couldn't be any better. Right donor lung. 50 PDS, please.
We know that time is of the essence. I do look up at the clock about every 5-10 minutes just to make sure that we're proceeding well.
10 o'clock.
Removing Zach's old lungs is taking longer than expected.
Stay on target.
His survival now depends on Dr. Yang being able to connect the new lungs within the next 2 hours.
Pressure feels good.
You know, you want to convince yourself you didn't stick yourself, but...
And you don't think this was from, like, squeezing it? It was there before you started?
Yeah. And, I mean, I keep telling myself, did I feel it? I mean, definitely, there's no question in my mind. I did not stick myself.
You know, you want to believe you're negative and you want to believe there's no risk at all, but when someone says you have a low-risk exposure, it kind of puts doubt in your mind.
So it's like 0.3%.
0.3%.
And that's in a high risk.
An HIV-positive patient. You know, all percutaneous exposures from a known HIV positive.
So in a high risk. So this isn't even a high risk.
Well, so there's a situation, right? This is not a high risk.
So it's less than.
She felt that the exposure was a very, very low risk exposure, but in a very high risk patient. So because of those two factors, one being low exposure risk but a high risk patient, she felt it was necessary for me to go on the prophylactic HIV medications. It's always scary when you start medications like that. And unfortunately, it happens all the time because our patients, you never know whether they're positive or negative.
And if she's negative, then that part doesn't need to be followed.
Okay.
Do you want this stuff?
Thanks. It's just things that we do, you know.
It's horrible.
It's
it
just,
happens, and no matter how minor the injury.
Yeah, and I mean, because I know I wasn't stuck. It's just scary just thinking about, I don't know, the whole thing. Just it's even scary thinking about our job and the way we put ourselves at risk all the time with this. But okay, so I'll go do it. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You know you're okay, but there's that little doubt. And it's your life, and it's like you're gambling a little bit with your life, and it's just so scary. And it's just, it's the scariest thing I've ever been through.
I've been up several nights in a row doing transplants. You just get that adrenaline rush that you're going to be doing a transplant, so people usually don't get tired.
Okay, breathe, lung. Do your job. Nice, look at that. Actually, it's a nice fit, look at that.
Mom or Dad.
Hello? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, thanks a lot. All right, bye-bye. They got the right lung in. They're getting ready to take the left lung out. So it'll probably take about an hour and a half, 2 hours to take the left lung out.
We made it this far. You know, do what you gotta do.
Get this ugly thing out, Kurt. Okay. Ready? We have to sew this lung in tonight. Almost there.
The second lung is out, and we're sewing in the left side right now. And things are going very well.
Left lung up.
Bringing her up.
Okay, lung, breathe now. Ready? Let's see some life. Oh, look at the match.
Zach's first breaths with his new lungs.
Okay. Oh boy.
See ya.
I get tired about this time of night. Okay, thanks everybody. Nice job.
Oh boy.
It's really exciting for me to go out and give the family the good news.
Okay. All done. All done? Yep. Doing okay? They're great. They're good lungs. It was stuck. The right lung was bad. So that took a while to chip out that lung. And the left one actually was no problem at all. Now the left lung, took like 6.5 hours of time outside the body, which is a little long, but I think we got him in within reasonable time, considering the circumstances and the distance they had to come from. So I think he'll be okay. He's going to go to the pediatric ICU.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Sounds real good.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. I'll see you all later.
And if you have time when you finish, we're trying to finish this puzzle before.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything to do. I'll just come back and...
I'm a funeral director.
You're a funeral director.
And I was at Maryland National Cemetery.
Yeah.
And I went to go around the edge, around the head of the casket, and they didn't have it. They should have had a board or something under it, and it was green carpet over it.
Yeah.
And I fell through the carpet.
You fell through the carpet. You fell into the grave?
You fell into the grave.
6 feet under.
I don't know how deep it was.
I don't mean to laugh. Much before your time,
The casket was still. I was under the casket.
You were under the casket.
See, the casket was on the rack, and.
Did the body stay in the casket?
Yes.
Nothing came out?
No.
Was the family there?
Yeah, everybody saw it.
And was the family really upset?
Yep.
But more upset that you fell into the grave.
No, they were concerned about me.
I'm sorry. I've had a kind of a stressful day, and anything that can make me, I'm not kidding, anything that can make me laugh,
I don't lie.
anything that can make me laugh right now is a good thing.
I don't lie.
I've really had a bad day, so I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
I understand.
Okay.
Zach Chamberlain faces months of difficult rehabilitation, but to his grateful parents, it is a gift that they have been praying for.